is the abandoned evangelical cemetery.
Yeah, inside this chapel, Satanist people made their black masses, etc.
This place has a kind of reputation for being a little bit rough. Oh, shit. Either I left my window open,
or somebody broken it. Polish majority still think about Silesian people, or Germans, or stupid people which even cannot speak fluently Polish.
I've seen a lot of cemeteries in Poland, abandoned ones as well, but this one, it's probably in the worst condition.
Yeah,
actually.
This is vandalized, simply vandalized, and you can see it on your own. This also started to be vandalized, and this cemetery is not destroyed only by time, but by people.
Welcome to Kult America, everyone. Today we are heading to Poland's coal mining country, the heart of Silesia, Zabrze. Gotta say, these roads here are pretty hardcore. Granted, we're off the beaten path. I don't think too many tourists come around here, but if you do, you might want to consider having a bigger car than what I drive. This is just outstanding. I mean, when you picture Silesia, like out of a movie or something, this is pretty much the image that comes to mind here. Nice weather.
Weather is so awful, that's why I wrote you that. Right now we are in one of the oldest districts in Zabrze, the typical worker district. In all Upper Silesia places, everywhere, in each city, we can find the industrial districts. Here we are in the Borsigwerke, the German sounds of this district. It's not accidentally, because this area, before the Second World War and before the First World War, has been, or the owner was Graf von Borsig. Borsigwerke was the name of his huge complex of industry, which included the coal mine, the steel mill, and many industrial things like factories which make coal, iron, steel, PB, and other materials. And this district has been built in the end of 19th century. Till nowadays, the landscape hadn't changed so much. We are living in 21st century in 2024, but here you can feel the spirit, you can feel the real history. And it's not accident that I've invited you exactly here, because not only buildings, not only streets which are going one nearby the second, not only the climate, in this weather it's even better. Here is one of the most horror places in Zabrze. I mean the abandoned evangelical cemetery.
So now we're about to enter the workers' district.
Yes, exactly. To the workers' district, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful worker districts in Upper Silesia, very regular shape. I mean, this is the 6 streets, which are going one next to the second, exactly from east to west. And between those streets, they have built, we can name it like a small blocks, which in the past, those blocks were only for workers of the mine which has been in the neighborhood. And the mine has been built in the middle of 19th century, the mine and other industrial zones. And everything has belonged to one company, von Borsig, the surname of the guy, the owner of it. That's why this district, still now, it's named Borsigwerke, like a Borsig factory. And he decided, and in all Upper Silesia, that the investor had been built districts for workers, for coal miners. In 19th century, in the end of 19th century, the beginning of 20th century, this kind of districts has been one of the most modern in the world. People from US, from New York, from Detroit came to Upper Silesia to learn how to build very modern, very complex districts for workers. For example, inside flats, in 19th century, they had got toilets. It was not normal then.
And these were the guys actually going into the mine and extracting the resource, or like the managers lived here?
No, here miners, like a normal workers.
Wow.
On the other side of the street, they are much prettier, much more pretty buildings for officers, for foremen, for directors.
So why were people running away to America if the standards were so high here? Because I've seen in Pennsylvania similar places, and I can tell you the worker camps, they weren't always so great.
But to be honest, if you watch into the documents from Silesia, we had got not so big emigration to US. It was the place where people came, especially from poorer regions around. Upper Silesia in the beginning of 20th century was one of the richest region in the world. Because, we've been the industrial zone, industrial region, with a lot of mines, with a lot of factories, with a lot of everything. Architects and people from Pennsylvania, not only, came here to learn how to build it.
Really?
Really. And in documents, in the archives, you can find a lot of signs that people came here to learn. Furthermore, I was totally shocked when I've been in New York on my first time, and I was walking down the Manhattan, and I was walking and look around, and I said, those blocks are so similar to Katowice, to Zabrze city center, but of course much more higher and new and in very good shape. And then I was started to read about architects. And for example, German architects, which projected districts in West Germany, I mean in Dortmund, in Gelsenkirchen, and also in Silesia, in Katowice, in Zabrze, in Gliwice, later they have gone to USA, to New York, and they have projected buildings over there. This area had been built with an idea. I mean, the owner of the mine built the place for miners, but remember, they have gone to the coal mine for 12, 13, 14 hours. So in the morning or in the evening, they have moved out from the house. Later they came back. They just slept because they had to.
But their wives and their kids
have been over here.
More comfortable here, I'm
Yes,
guessing.
Exactly. Not only flats had been modern on this time, at this time, 100 years ago, but also area around had been made for them. For example, they had got the green areas, the park, sport area, the playground, the pitch. They had got everything in the district, like a medicine center, library, school, kindergarten. In Germany, schools were very important, like Volksschule, like primary schools have been obligatory. In Poland, not. So the society of these kinds of districts, it was small country. We name it like a Heimat, like a small country for them, because most of time of their life they have spent here, because it was they didn't need to go somewhere else for something. Shops, once more swimming pools, everything had been on the district.
Very interesting.
Because it was an idea for owners, because if workers and their family had got nice conditions for life, they could be more effective in the work. For people which came from villages to work on the mine, it was important to still have a contact with the nature, but I mean not like in the modern thinking, not beautiful park and zoo or something like that, but they wanted to feel like in their former houses. That's why those small buildings, which now are garages for cars or just a place for some things, those places have been built for animals. So people here felt like they are living between city and village.
So I've got to ask you, and I think I even texted this, that I don't want to get stabbed wandering around here. So far, no one's bothered us at all, but this place has a kind of reputation for being a little bit rough. How is it in the modern time? I mean, what's it like growing up in a place like this?
In 1998 was the first big process of closing mines in Upper Silesia. 99% of people which were living here used to work in the mine. And when government decided close the mine, those people lost their one way for living, yeah?
Okay.
It's hard to make a transformation from miner, which are digging the coal under the ground, into another profession.
Yeah.
Okay, some of them found work in other places, but also in 1990s in Poland, in Silesia, the government made a terrible thing. They gave people money, I mean then 40,000 zloty, and miner had to sign the document that they will change the profession. But those people were very simple people, yeah? So what they have done, most of them, they hadn't invested this money, they hadn't gave this money for education, for changings, but they just buy car, yeah, buy something to house, new fridge, new television. Furthermore, in the end of 1980s, 90% of society of this kind of districts moved out to Germany for better life. The condition of the districts started to be lower and lower, so nobody wanted to live here. That's why the city majority put inside those blocks social flats. I mean, people which have no idea for living, yeah, poor people, pathology people, they started to live there. And in 1990s, this kind of places started to be the worst in the city. It's still going on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's changing. Now, for last 10 years, it started to change because of the fashion. You know, those flats are still really good because it has been built over more than 100 years ago. Very good constructions, very comfortable places, big spaces, big rooms. So it is fashionable to buy this kind of the flat. Yeah. Of course, make a reparation inside, and it's like a loft places.
This is the type of place in Warsaw, for example, in the Wola district.
Exactly.
Plenty of abandoned warehouses and things like that. And now, you know, hipsters, not only hipsters, but businessmen.
Not only hipsters,
and,
exactly.
People like to spend their time there because society really enjoys this feeling of grit.
Exactly.
You know, they add shiny lights, they make it kind of fancy, but they'll leave the dirty looking wall.
Exactly.
And it creates some kind of excitement.
Patriotic hoodie, and I'm wearing it very, very, very often. Yeah. In 1990s, we started to leave the free country, but Polish people, Polish majority, still think about Silesian people or Germans or stupid people which even cannot speak fluently Polish, and still these stereotypes is. Me, for example, many times I'm going and I finished the Silesian study even, not only about language, but also about the culture, history, etc. Very often I'm going somewhere to Poland and they ask me like a monkey, speak something on Silesian. Try to imagine what could happen if I will go to Warsaw and said, speak something in Polish. They said me, you're crazy, why? But if you're asking me, it's something funny for them. Yeah? Even now, people are not paying attention for Silesian identity as an identity. It's still like only folklore. It's like something interesting, but not serious. Yeah. But we are serious, simply. Yeah? If even around 1 million people feel the identity, something has to be inside.
If I can ask you a kind of politically sensitive question, I noticed that the new government promised Silesians that they'll make the official language here, or the official second language Silesian, which I know is a very important topic for you guys. But at the same time, I saw that one of their other goals is to kind of try to close a bunch more of the coal mines. How do the local people feel about that?
You know, it's very complicated because we have to also take this problem into two. One is the culture, the second is the money from industry. 90% people in Silesia knows, and we know it perfectly, that the European Union is transforming into the green, very ecological place. That's why we know that those coal mines in the future, that we have to close it. Furthermore, the coal is finishing, because over 200 years people destructing it. So we know it perfectly. But the main thing in the transformation is to make it responsible. First, build the economic economical zones, build a new place for workers, and then close another, because we had got a so bad experience from 1990s when, after the communism time, the government in Warsaw, in 1 year they closed 30, 40 mines, many other places. Try to imagine, in 1989, over 500,000 people used to work in coal mining industry. In 1998, when government closed many of them, 100,000 people lost their work. It's not so easy to take 100,000 people and put somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's very important to make the process of transformation responsibly. Totally second side is the culture. This year we had got a score of, how I can name it, like a civil voting. The government asked who you are, where you live, which is your language. 700,000 people crossed Silesian nation, and over 300,000 people crossed that they are speaking Silesian language. So it's a lot. We can find countries in Europe with less population than Silesia has over here, and we have 1 million in Germany still. So for us it's very important to make the process in government to take care about the culture and about the language, because it's connected, unfortunately, with money. If we'll have money for learning Silesian, for learning Silesian culture, it will exist, it will survive, and it will exist in the future. If not, schools have no money for teachers, for example, who will teach children to speak Silesian, and this language started to be smaller and smaller. I remember, like 20 years ago, to hear the Silesian language in Zabrze was something totally normal, totally common, yeah, everywhere. Now it's maybe not unusual, but not so many people are speaking Silesian, because if everything is connected with the bigger culture, or I mean Polish culture, our smaller one is disappearing. Everywhere in the world the process is the same. This party, which won the voting in Poland, won also in Upper Silesia, and I think that they have 10 or even 15% here in Silesia, just because they promised that they will take the Silesian language as an official language, and they will take care about our heritage and about our culture.
When do you think that will happen?
They said this year.
Okay.
Hope so.
Oh shit. You know, either I left my window open,
Or somebody broken it. Not at all. But it's pretty hard. But you see, it's dangerous area.
it's dangerous area. No one.
It's totally dangerous area. The new Audi is staying on the street with open window, and nobody even take anything from inside. So this is the stereotype, and this is the reality.
So that's like 1,000 points for Silesia. I just literally left my car window open by accident. Car's totally filled with gear. I've got drones, I've got cameras, I've got computers, and
Nothing will happen.
This is the abandoned evangelical cemetery.
Yeah, evangelical cemetery. I mean, abandoned, half and half. In the past, I mean, when the Upper Silesia has been a part of Germany, of course, we had a big mix of religions here. We had got the Catholics, we had got evangelics, and we have got Jewish people. And what's happened? When the Second War has been finished, thousands people from Upper Silesia, from Zabrze, which had names Hindenburg in the past, emigrated to Germany, but cemetery left. After the Second World War, Polish people came to Zabrze, a lot of them, and in 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, we had got a huge emigration from Poland. And in Poland, there is no so many evangelic people. That's why when older part of society died, this cemetery started to be more and more destroyed. Furthermore, even in 1990s, now no, but even in 1990s, it was very popular, for example, to destroy this kind of places. I mean, people done it because it was like that. Yeah, it is other religion. Yeah. It is not our. It is after German people, yeah, without careness, without anything, this kind of places started to be more and more destroyed. Few graves are revitalized. I mean, when, for example, in Germany, family is living, or in Zabrze still somebody is living, they made the new graves, but just a few. Why this cemetery is over here? It's not only, it's also not accidentally. The district Borsigwerke has been built in the end of 19th century. I mean, in 80s, 90s. 90s. Before, this area was out of the city. And in the middle of 19th century was an epidemic, and a lot of people died because of this epidemic. And majority of the city decided to make a cemetery for those people out of the city. And they have started to put bodies over here. Later, it changed into the normal evangelical cemetery, because in the district called Biskupice, the oldest district of nowadays Zabrze, has been 2 churches. Now, both are Catholics. But before the war, one was evangelic, the second was Catholic. So here was the cemetery for evangelic people.
Can I ask you, do German people come back here to I don't know, commemorate their family? Or?
Sometimes, very rare. I have been here many times because it's not the first record on this cemetery, but I don't know, I made maybe 3, 4, 5 times things over here, and I also made a project with evangelical church in Zabrze to find some finances, to find some money for revitalization, and I met only one time the German family which came here, and they stand near to the grave because she was a grandmother of those people.
I've seen a lot of cemeteries in Poland, abandoned ones as well.
Yeah.
But this one, there's a tire there, there's a Coke can. It's
now,
probably in the worst condition.
Exactly, and what is curious that this cemetery now is in the city. It is not like few kilometers out of the city in the middle of forest, yeah, or in the abandoned village or something like that, okay, like on the east of Poland. People are living here, yeah. It is maybe not in the middle, but it is in the city, and looks like we are anywhere, simply anywhere. You can see on your own that many of those graves are destroyed, and especially German titles started to be scratched and destroyed. Why? It is because of the history. Before the war, Silesia was a part of Germany. When borders has been changed, as I told before, a lot of people ran out from Silesia to Germany or just died here. And Polish culture make an invasion. I mean that Polish government, communist government, they made a possibility to emigrate for thousands of people. Now in Zabrze, which has got 160,000 citizens, now maybe 3 or 4% are Silesians. Like, I mean, Silesians from the past. The rest is from Poland or mixed. Wow. And for those people which were living in Poland, everything what was connected with German history, Silesian history, it was equal to Nazis, yeah, because Germany has been an aggressor for Poland. For Silesian, not, because we've been closer to German culture. So for us, has been normal.
I'm categorically against grave desecration, but having heard so many Polish people's family stories about what Nazis did, to little children even.
It is.
They probably had such emotion that they were looking to solve anything. But that's amazing. So this is vandalized.
Yeah,
actually.
This is vandalized, simply vandalized, and you can see it on your own. This also started to be vandalized, and this cemetery is not destroyed only by time, but by people. Everywhere in European Union, in US mostly, people understand that you can have not big societies, small cultures, some cultures can have their own identity, even their own identity. Furthermore, in Europe, when in small area is living a lot of cultures, a lot of countries are. In the past, wars and conflicts had been changing borders many times. Silesia from 13th century has been not a part of Poland. Each movement which is not connected with Polish thinking, Polish history, Polish mentality, Polish symbolism, etc., is something dangerous. Because, for example, a lot of people said me many times, you are separatistic, you are German, you are Volksdeutsch. I think that Polish people still don't understand that in one country you can have more than one nation.
Which is strange, because this was the melting pot of Europe before Hitler had his way.
Exactly.
Wasn't it?
Then it was something normal. We've been the multicultural country. So it was, but during the communist time, everything had to be equal. Everybody had to be equal. It's the primary thing for socialism, for communism, that you have to destroy all advantages, all lower things, so everything has to be equal, also mentality, also identity. So they destroy it into people. But after the communist time, still the mentality of Polish people is going it's easier to think for those people that still we are in danger between Russia and Germany.
So what do you feel you are?
Me?
Yeah.
100% Upper Silesian. I'm not Polish. I will never said that I'm Polish because I don't feel like Polish people. But
Very interesting. Radical even.
Legend that inside this chapel Satanist people made their black masses, etc.
I could kind of believe that almost.
You know, in the end of 90s was pretty popular for young stupid people to make this kind of rituals, and I can believe that few guys made it because, for example, over here on the right side it is Satan, you see, on the on the wall. So maybe, but you know, maybe some young stupid people met here and just make a ritual or something like that. It is probably.
It's pretty creepy.
It is.
You have the chairs and everything in there.
It is. It is. It just destroyed. But to be honest, if it will be the midnight, I will never get in here.
Yeah.
See, this is the river, yeah, the small river, the Tomka. The First World War finished in 1918, but Upper Silesia had got like longer period of war, because after the First World War, still Upper Silesia has been in Germany, and we had got the three civil wars. Small civil wars, not like in US in 1919, in 1920, in 1921. After 1921, the international society, I mean the ONZ, then the Nation League, decided to make voting in Upper Silesia, where you would like to live, in Germany or in Poland, because there were two sides. Germany won this voting. I mean, 56% of society has been on the option of Germany. 44 were voting for Poland. But then the third civil war appeared, like the third civil war had been made, and the Nation League decided to divide the Upper Silesia. Part of the region came to Poland, to New Poland, independent Poland, with Katowice city, with Ruda Śląska, Chorzów and others. The rest stayed still in Germany, and this river was a border between countries.
Wow.
There was Poland behind the river, here was Germany.